Mega church has been around long enough.
Oh, they've been around for a while.
They were actually doing that thing, where they touch you and you
they'll
faint,
like slay
right?
you in the spirit. That's what they call it.
So you worked at one of my favorite restaurants of all time, In and Out, free advertising.
Yeah, my dad would dress up with the platform shoes, the bell-bottom pants. He had the afro going.
When you were a kid, you found out you were allergic to trees and grass?
Yeah, it was like all of a sudden too. I was in 4th grade and it happened in the middle of the day.
So you're like 9 years old. You lived almost your first decade on the planet. Going outside is not a problem.
Yeah, it was great.
And
I
then
loved
out
it.
of nowhere.
Yeah, it was all I was allowed to do too. It was like, they couldn't watch TV because it was like bad and the devil. So playing outside was what we had to do. And then out of nowhere, couldn't breathe. Like falling on the ground and shit. It was insane.
Like thinking you were gonna die or something.
Yeah.
So what did they do?
I had to get shots every week. And for the first few months, they had to find out what it was. Because they're like, well, this kid can't breathe.
Right.
And this is the 90s, so no one knew anything. So they were like putting like 40 shots, because they didn't know. They were just like,
40?
Yeah, they would put them, it was on like a big thing, and they would like stick the whole thing in my entire, like from the knee to the thigh place.
Oh, they got it over with.
Yeah, so they'd put like 40 in, and they'd be like, all right, whichever ones swell up, you're allergic to that. So they're just injecting me with random shit. It was like, here's a little bug thing.
What did that feel like, 40 shots at once?
Bad. It was getting hurt. It was like
Did you get used
blood.
to it after a while?
No. No.
I'm trying to find a silver lining here. You're like, no, it's horrible.
No, some things are just bad. It was bad. And
so were you like kicking and screaming on the way down there and stuff? Like, I don't want to do this anymore?
No, I mean, my dad kind of nailed all that incorrect stuff in my head of like crying. Never do that. So.
Oh,
yeah.
Dude, you had a hardcore religious background, huh?
Yeah.
So TV was the devil.
TV was the devil.
Where did you grow up?
Georgia, outside of Atlanta, like rural Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like Seinfeld, which now is considered clean. That's like a clean show. And they were like, that's too dirty. Everybody Loves Raymond was too dirty. Everything was too dirty or too liberal or like.
Caroline in the City? How about that?
I don't even know what you're talking about there. They must have really hid that.
Oh,
What's going on in that?
She's in the city. She's single.
Is Caroline?
She has
is
ideas.
she the little nun? Is she a little nun girl?
No, that was one of those shows that I always used as a reference because I was just like somehow this show made it to syndication. I've never seen an episode of it. Somebody is watching this thing. It just became like fascinating.
Yeah.
So what are you religious now, or did you get away from it?
No, but I'm definitely open to everything. They all sound fun, most of them.
So how did your what religion were you?
Pentecostal holiness.
Which is what?
They speak in tongues and those ones.
Is that Jesus shit, or is that?
Yeah, it's Jesus.
Okay, I don't know. So you worked at one of my favorite restaurants of all time, In and Out, free advertising.
Yeah.
In and Out, what was that like?
It was the best thing, arguably, of my life. Until now. Now. It's been like this and In and Out, pretty much, top two.
Did you go nuts on the food?
I mean, I was in a real grilled cheese phase at that time, not a vegetarian, but like, have you ever had the grilled cheese?
I didn't know they made one.
It's unreal.
Really?
Unreal. Like, it's.
Because I know the double animal style.
Yeah.
I know you got all the cheat codes. You got to let me know. Like, there's the one you can order that just has the lettuce and not the bun.
I mean, that's pretty like.
Standard?
No, that's pretty out there. Yeah, that information is out there. But I mean, I do like a grilled cheese and a root beer float.
Root beer float, and you like Bob Seger?
Yeah.
I didn't know they made women like you anymore. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
No wonder you're having panic attacks. You're living in the wrong time. You're like
I
some chick I went to high school with.
I peeked at In and Out. It was just so fun. I just loved it.
But you said the first night something crazy happened there?
Something. I mean, I was like, okay, so I dated this guy there. You know, whatever. It's like you're there all the time.
You're soulmates, right?
Yeah, I was 16, he was 18. It was just like, let's do this. And I realized slowly, like on a couple of our shifts, he was like kind of like being standoffish. And I was like, okay, like, did I like take an order wrong? You know, like what's happening? And then I realized that he was cheating on me with a different employee that had just started working there. And it was just, I mean.
Wow.
Yeah, devastating. Doesn't even begin to cover it. And then we just had to like all stand there at the registers and like make fries, you know, and like.
Wait, did you find out at work?
Yeah, because he came I was standing outside taking orders because I was the best at it. You know, when people go outside to like
Right.
get the drive-through line. So I was outside, it was like 10 o'clock on like a Tuesday, and he pulled up. He wasn't working. And I was like, what are you doing here? You know? And I knew he wasn't there to see me. I knew it. And I was like going through my mind, I was like, who's inside right now?
But he didn't check with you to see if you were going to, this kid's
Didn't
sloppy.
even check with
Sloppy.
me. Yeah. I'm the first person he sees. And like he was like, oh, I'm going to check my schedule. Yeah, right. Like,
In the
have you ever
drive-thru
heard of
line?
a phone? Yeah, like, and I'm like, dude, something's up, you know? And I was like thinking about who was in there, and it was just like, Manny, Caesar, no. And then I was like,
Not feeling that vibe.
no, yeah, I was like, Luis, no. And then it hit me, I was like, Leah, the new girl.
Wow.
And yeah, they confirmed it at, we used to have store meetings once a month. And like at the next store meeting, they were like sitting together in the booth. And I was like, okay.
Oh, so there was no official breakup?
No.
No, that's the worst when you're young. You don't know how to do it.
Yeah,
And then you got to
yeah.
keep working this. What happened? Who quit? Who left?
He did. I was the longest one still working there.
So he left and she stayed. Then
He
the
left,
two of you were there.
and then she left, and then I was just like running the joint.
You got to start writing for soap operas. That was.
It was traumatizing, yeah.
First of all, you lived a life.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then-
you know, married and all that.
Yeah, and then like so much of your comedy was coming from the characters, and your dad, like I had like a really like volatile dad too, and so much of your stuff comes from that. Like I don't know, man. I guess tell me about yourself. Like
Yeah, that's the best comedy, real life stuff, huh? I'm from the south side of Chicago,
Right.
40 years old, been doing stand up for 14 years now. But yeah, I base everything I write to make people laugh is, you know, all the stuff that I went through as a kid.
right. And
Crazy
you had kids
dad.
like really young too, right?
Yeah, I was 19 years old when we had our first daughter, man. 19.
So you got a 21-year-old?
21-year-old. She'll
Dude,
be
I'm
21
50.
in
I got
September.
a 2-year-old.
Oh shit, I feel bad for you, man.
I know.
Yeah.
Anytime I talk to parents that already have raised kids, they're just kind of like, oh yeah.
Yeah, my best friend is like 42. He's got a newborn. He's like miserable every day, man. But
I'm liking it.
I mean,
liking
he's
it.
liking it too. He's got a beautiful daughter. But when he sees me hanging out and, you know, following my dream or whatnot, he's just like, shit, I should have got her knocked up at 19 too. So, you know.
No, I thought getting your girl knocked up young, that usually screws it up, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, at that moment, it screwed up a lot of stuff. You know, I had college dreams.
Yeah, that went out the
You know,
window.
it went out the window,
Well,
full-time
what did you think
job.
at 19 when she goes, well, probably 18 if you had
She
her
was
at 19.
actually 18. I was 19, yeah.
You were 19 and then you had the kid, and what were you thinking? Like, what did I just do?
Honestly, it was weird because at that time of my life, I was in high school. All my friends had kids. Like a bunch of my friends had kids. It was insane. Like
You city kids.
junior,
man.
yeah, you know, a bunch of horny little Latino kids from the inner city, man. It was like a cool thing to do.
Trying to
Like,
stay warm.
two guys show up, like, I got a baby. I'm like, you know what? I need a fucking baby now. So it was one of those things, man.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know,
And then the
when-
baby comes, you're like, oh shit, what
now
did
I really
do?
have to get married or, you know.
Yeah.
You know, you got a choice. You can run or you can stay, man. I decided to stay.
So how many do you have?
Two daughters. My youngest is 17.
Your youngest is 17, so she was born, you were like, what, 20?
22, 23 years
23.
old. Yeah, she was born
Wow.
in 2002.
So tell me about your dad. Your dad is a big rock and roll fan?
Yeah. My dad is, he's literally an encyclopedia of rock and roll. I mean,
That's so cool.
he can name drummers, guitarists, even like replacement artists. Like, he can name all the original
he
Black
can-
Sabbath guys and then the new guys. He's one of those
He's
guys, man.
hardcore, huh?
Hardcore. He played guitar for a few years.
And you said he used to dress up and stuff?
Yeah. My dad would dress up with the platform shoes, the bell-bottom pants. He had the afro going, you know.
How's he liking that you're doing like stand up and telling all the stories about him? Is he cool about it?
Oh yeah, he's cool about it. My dad's he's always been the, like if he was in this bar, he'd be buying everybody drinks. He's always been the guy.
Oh, he's one of those guys.
Hey, I got paid today, guys, and he spent all the money and shit in the bar. But he's always been that guy that wanted the whole room to look at him, kind of.
Yeah.
You know, Theo's the funniest one here.
Do you think that you got that from him, like as far as you then getting on stage and wanting to be a
Not in a
comedian?
sense where my dad does it for attention.
Right.
I mean, my dad always did it like he wanted to be the star. What I got from him was just the funniness and the wittiness.
Right.
Not afraid to just say what you feel when you see something, even if
Jesus,
it,
dude.
even
That's
if it
why-
insults
That's why
somebody.
when I
but-
was watching your stuff, I related to you so much because I had a dad just like that. He was a little more introverted, my dad either wants to be the center of attention or just wants to be left alone, one or the
Right.
other. But what was cool is when, you get nervous, if you start talking about your folks and stuff, like how they're going to react. And my dad
exactly.
loves it. The craziest stories I tell, he'll just lean over and be like, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's my dad.
Yeah.
Yep, he's exactly right
I
about
did
all
that
that.
shit.